Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Well, at least it's going to be a Merry Christmas tomorrow night for Gervonta Davis when he wakes up under his tree and sees a limited edition Frank Martin punching bag. Let's get into it. Frank Martin versus Gervonta Davis. It's that time of day. Oh, I mean that time. Because tomorrow they'll fight. Not today. Tomorrow. So let's get to it. Let's get to it on this Gervonta Davis Merry Christmas. Here we go. So what I think's gonna happen here? We're getting a nice feel for the breakdown of today. Gervonta Davis versus Frank Martin. Let's see what we got here. Gervonta Davis coming in. It's been almost a year now. Last fight was last April. He faced Ryan Garcia. So it's been over a year. It's been a little over a year. So he had some issues, was able to handle them, get himself back in this thing. So the thing here about Gervonta Davis, a lot of people don't talk about, is he's so precise. He's so precise. And what he will do, and he's so smart by doing this, and it's kind of a ballsy thing to do. It takes a lot out of someone to pull what he pulls. And what he does is that during the fight, he makes everyone that he's fighting look good. He makes them get so confident. Like we did with Ryan. He does this time and time again. He did it with Rolly. Did it with Ryan. Did it pretty well at Cruz. Wasn't able to counter Cruz, but he did it pretty well. What he does with these fighters is that he lets you get in the fight. He lets you stay in the fight. Lets you work a little bit. Lets you hit these shots. Have these moments in the fight where you get more and more confident. And as you get confident, a lot of the fighters start letting a little bit of their guard down. And they're like, oh, I'm not in these shots. I'm not in these shots. For example, with Ryan. Example with Rolly. Ryan started letting it fly, all these hooks over and over, leaving his chin held high. And what did Tank do in those moments? He lands that shot. He lands that counter shot. Tank is a counter puncher. And he lets these fighters get so confident. He lets them start and just letting go of their defense, go full offense, and commit to their punches and overcommit. And he finds that lucky shot. Not lucky, obviously not lucky. Why would I say it was lucky? He finds that shot. And a lot of times that fighter overcommits, gets off balance a little bit, hits them in the right spot, and they drop. And it wobbles them. It gets them in an area where they're struggling a little bit because you're in the fight fully against Tank until you're not in the fight at all. That's how it works. It goes from 0 to 100. Actually, no, it turns around. It goes from 100 to 0. You're 100% in the fight. You're not to 0. You're not in the fight at all. And I just feel like Tank is going to bring his A game here. There's going to be a little bit of rust, I guess, but at the end of the day, it's Tank. It's Gervonta Davis. All right, how much of rust can we really see here? He goes in at these tactics, and he's hyping up Frank Martin a little bit. He's hyping him up, saying he's got those brick hands. He makes that you believe that you're great. He makes you feel so confident going into the fight. And, he can get a little silly. He's been a little silly in this camp, make some jokes. Silly little guy. That's what I like to say. He's a silly little guy. But that silly little guy's got a hammer in his fist. So, on the other side of it, Frank Martin. He's the bigger guy in this fight. I think he's I believe he's 5'8". 5'8". Could be wrong there. He has a 68-inch wingspan. He has a reach. So he's going to have the reach here. He's going to have to use that jab a lot. He has a very good jab. He's going to have to use it as a push a little bit. What I'm going to say here about Frank Martin is I just don't think he's as silky as everyone thinks he is. Everyone thinks he's this real silky southpaw. In my opinion, he could be pretty stiff in a lot of situations, a lot of moments. And I think that's where it comes with the youth of not being in those real big fights and not having all those extra years of experience. Is that he gets into certain moments where he kind of backs down a little bit, and then he'll let you hit those big shots. His body opens up in a good amount of moments, and his head has a lack of head movement. And he'll just kind of let it happen. I say let it happen is like he won't fight it. he won't fight those few big punches that you're gonna land. He's gonna let you land a little bit of those combos. That body shot is gonna be there. That head is gonna be standing right there. Like I said, the punching bag for Gervonta Davis, it's coming gift wrapped. It's right there for you. All you gotta go is walk under that tree, open it up, hula. I like to say, but this is the definition of papitas for Tank. As much as I want to believe all the hype with Frank Martin in the sparring match, supposedly in the sparring match a few years ago, Frank hit Tank pretty hard, and Tank got so angry, is what they're saying, that he took out the gloves and he wanted to fight bare fist. And hey, some of that could be true. It could be true, but I just don't think this is a sparring match anymore. This is the real deal here. This is the real deal. And I think that experience is going to play here. The bigger fights, being under those lights in a fight against Tank is a lot that's going to go into it. And I think Frank Martin's definitely going to feel himself a little bit. But like I said, Tank lets you feel yourself. He lets you feel those moments. He lets you let it all get to your head and be like, oh, I'm the guy. Let me land all these big shots, and then bang. So let's see. Who do I think is going to win this fight? I've made it pretty obvious in my opinion. Gervonta Davis. I think lock here. If I like to pick lock of the night here, I'm going to go with a Gervonta Davis knockout. Lock it in. Cash your money. Hey, it might as well be Christmas for you too if you're going to be doing that. So I think it's a good Christmas gift, early Christmas gift for me. Lock in the Gervonta Davis knockout. I think that's pretty straightforward for me. Usually I have a little bit of a debate, but I don't see Frank Martin winning this fight. I just don't. I see him getting confident, maybe winning the first few rounds. I see this winning the first 3 or 4 rounds, Frank Martin, and then I think Davis is going to catch him. I think he's going to hit him pretty hard where it hurts. And like I also said, I didn't point out this a lot. Frank Martin can't fight backwards. And I think sometimes Tank won't push you a lot. He'll let you, like I said, he'll let you push. He'll let you fall into the traps. But I think just Frank Martin isn't that much of a complete fighter as I would put Tank to be. So I just don't. I think that would be it. I think that's really it. I kind of dazed off there for a second. I'm sorry. I finished a whole thing of coffee right now, early in the morning. Let me know if you can relate to that. Having a whole thing of coffee really hits you a little bit, but I think this is a big step moving forward for Tank, and I would love to see him fight Ryan at the 140-ish, but realistically, I don't see Tank going up there, and I don't see him rematching Cruz. Maybe a Haney fight. We just gotta sit back and we gotta see. We gotta see where it goes from here, because it's gonna be a Merry Christmas for Gervonta Davis Saturday night, and I'll be back for you. If he wins this fight, after he wins this fight, I will come on here in a Christmas hat and I'll have a little Christmas celebration. Me and Gervonta Davis. Y'all have a good one, and I'll get back to y'all after the fight.